Hey everybody, I'm Sasha. And today's video, I just finished watching this movie. I bought it yesterday. Always wanted to see this one. And this movie I'm about to talk to you about is Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So what exactly is this movie about? It's about a documentary group. They go to meet somebody. They meet a man named Leslie Vernon, and they know his story. Apparently, he was thrown over a waterfall, and he died, he perished by his own family or something. And then they follow him around, and apparently he likes to scare people or something like that, especially this specific girl in the movie. But then, unfortunately, there's another man out there who talks and he says to them, "You don't know who you're dealing with. He's not Leslie Vernon." Yep. Well, his name is Leslie, but his last name's not Vernon. No. And then they just keep following him around, and he tells them what he's going to do to these teenagers that rent out his old house. The house is for rent now or something. Yeah, it's like in the middle of nowhere. There's no reception, so it's perfect for a horror movie. And then, yeah. And he's going to kill them, basically. And, unfortunately, things take a different turn when the documentary group, they stop documenting all this, and they decide to stop Leslie. But then it turns out that's his real plan. It's Leslie Vernon's real plan. He wants them to stop. He wants them to fight him. The documentary group, they were part of the they were part of his plan, the documentary group. And you know, like how horror movies, they have a virgin who survives. The virgin was never one of the teenagers that Leslie was going to kill. It was somebody in the documentary group. And this happens like near the end, so then near the end, they all have to fight to survive. It's a fight for survival because Leslie Vernon, well, he's insane. I mean, apparently. Now, what did I like about this movie? Did I like anything about this movie? I like that they mentioned some previous horror movies, such as, like, for instance, Freddy, Jason, Michael. We all need someone to look up to. So, yeah, they mention all of them. Like, they mention, like, on Camp Crystal Lake, Jason Voorhees killed people. Freddy Krueger killed people on Elm Street. Then Michael Myers killed people here. And, you know, they mentioned not real serial killers, other movies, serial killers, which I think is really funny. I think it's really cool they did that. And what's also kind of funny, they mentioned Elm Street and Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund is in this movie. His name is right there, Robert Englund. We all know him as Freddy Krueger. And we look on the back. Yep, there he is. That's Robert right there. Yeah. Yeah, I like Robert Englund. He's a great actor. I love him as Freddy Krueger. I really loved him as Freddy Krueger. He was so awesome. So yeah, I liked the cast was pretty cool. Like, I don't know a lot of these people, honestly. Like, we got Nathan Basil, which he plays Leslie Vernon. Angela Goethals, Zelda Rubinstein, with Scott Wilson and Robert Englund. Out of that, Robert Englund is the one I really know. I mean, we all know who Robert Englund is. Freddy Krueger, he was the Phantom of the Opera, the Mangler. You know, Robert Englund. We know Robert Englund. We love Robert Englund, don't we? We all love Robert. Now, this movie, also, I thought it was pretty creative. I thought it was a pretty creative film. And I like the way Leslie Vernon looks in the movie. Like, he has that mask, and he wears also kind of makeup under the mask. because it's good for his face or something. But then again, also because the eyes, you can't, he rubs the black around his eyes and then he puts on the mask. It's like makes it look more creepier. Which I have to agree, it does make it look creepier. And I like that it's a different weapon of choice, and his weapon of choice is like a sickle, I want to say. Yeah, he uses a sickle. And Robert Englund in this movie, he plays like a version of like Dr. Loomis, Dr. Loomis from Halloween. He plays like a version of him or something. I don't know what his character is, but his name is. I just finished watching this movie earlier today. I mean, it's like now I forgot what's his character's name, but I'm gonna say Robert. Robert Englund, because we love Robert Englund. And this movie was a pretty creative concept. Not really something I've ever seen before, I'm not gonna lie. And that I actually thought was pretty interesting. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. I mean, and they did it right, with the kind of a documentary, the kind of a found footage, and with real life, like they did it right. They did that right, like VHS. Which one is that? VHS Viral. They didn't really do that right. They had a skit in that movie with a magician, and they didn't, and it was found footage, but then it turned into to real life. I'm gonna call it real life. It's VHS Viral. It's supposed to be a found footage movie, so that didn't really work. But it wasn't a terrible movie. No. And I thought Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon, I thought they did that right. And this one actually came before VHS Viral. This movie was from 2006. This is a 2009 Stars Media Anchor Bay release. This movie is rated R. It's 91 minutes. Now this movie, I don't really have too much to say about it. But I will say it was a pretty interesting movie. I will say I did not really like the teenagers in this movie very much. I did not like them at all, really. They were just your typical stupid horror movie teenagers. Because they were stupid, okay? I did not like them at all, really. So, yeah. I don't have that much to say. This movie did get some positive reviews, like a comic gem lies behind the horror. Yeah, Baltimore Sun said that. It's a must for those who like thrills laced with a sense of humor. Elizabeth Weitzman from the New York Daily News, and a gift to horror fans. Devin Farasi from Chud.com said that. And then right here in the paragraph, in the story right there of the movie, the idea of the movie, it says here, Film Threat, they hailed this movie as a masterpiece, which, to me, this was a pretty fun movie. I liked Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I thought it was really cool. It was a good story. I like the story. I like the way Leslie Vernon looks, and I like the choice of weapon being a sickle. I like Robert Englund in this movie. I thought that he was pretty cool to have. Now, I don't know what else to say, but it wasn't a bad movie. It was pretty cool. I'm going to give this movie about 3.5. Probably 3.5. Or 3.5 stars out of 5. Okay. That was my review on Behind the Mask: The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe.